So I pulled a total Janelle for this week's DIY. I picked up some trash at the end of somebody's road out for my walk the other night, and I took it home. Hey, I'm Janelle, and this is toDIYfor. So if you are new to my channel, you might not know, I love to thrift things, I love to repurpose things. I am constantly going to the thrift store, and the majority of my apartment is decorated with thrifted items. I love taking, somebody's trash or something that they hated, didn't want anymore, and turning it into something new. So when I found this at the end of the road, it was not a fun carry home. I had to walk 2 kilometers home with it because it was toward the beginning of my walk, but I did it anyways because I knew I could do something cool with these tiles. So please subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel, share it with your friends, and you can also follow me on Instagram at JanelleSteeper for more of my inside life, but also some sneak peeks into some of these DIYs. So let's get into it. So this is the box of tiles that I found at somebody's driveway. Majority of them were all orange. There were a few green ones in there, but the orange actually works perfectly with my outdoor decor. So I have this little table here that I picked up years ago at the thrift store. It's in really rough condition. I've mostly just been using it as a plant stand. So I'm going to recover that. So just with a hammer, smashing these into small little tiny bits and doing this on top of cardboard. Make sure you're wearing glasses is probably the best option, and smashing them from the back I found was the best because it doesn't knock off any of the color. But originally when I was going to do this, I thought that I would mosaic the entire top and try and fit all these pieces together. When I realized how much work that was going to take to try and do it properly and well, I kind of changed the idea of this plan. So that's why I'm using concrete here. It is just a product that I already had at home, and I'm basically kind of using it as a bit of a filler because I hadn't purchased enough grout to fill in all of the cracks, because now with this idea I was going to have a lot more space to fill with the grout, and I just didn't purchase enough. So I thought that I could kind of supplement it a little bit with this concrete because I already had it at home. So by no means do you need to do this the same way that I did. But the idea here is that I laid that down, and then I'm going to push in all of my little pieces in a random order and kind of have a little bit of that terrazzo look to it. So these are going to hold in place with the concrete. If you're not doing it with concrete, I would highly suggest just gluing them to the table and then afterwards going in with the grout. So while that was drying, I gave the entire base a new coat of black paint. It desperately needed that, and I also went in with a coat of polyurethane afterwards to protect this table a little more, as it does sit outside for the entire kind of patio season. But once all of that was dry, what I did is I actually ended up having to go purchase more grout because I still didn't have enough. So I guess I should have just done it from the beginning. But I followed the directions on this, and I just mixed this together with a little bit of water, and then I started pressing it all into place the next day once everything had dried. Now I did find that this was a little bit dry, so I added a little more water as I went on to kind of work it into all of the cracks and crevices and fill this so that now we're going to have kind of a flat surface on the top of this table. But that's all there really was to it. Once I had everything pressed into place, and then I also did a little bit of grout around the exterior of the table, you let it dry a little while, and then you can wipe it down with a damp sponge or a damp cloth like I'm doing here. It cleans off all of the tiles, but it also helps smooth out that grout. Again, just following the directions that was on the instructions for the grout that I was using. So I think that this makes a really fantastic outdoor table. It's not perfect, and by no means am I telling you that this is the proper way that you should be tiling. This is just what I used because what I had. And again, this is an outdoor table, so it's maybe on the rougher side of things, but I think it makes a perfect, beautiful little side table. Personally, I will be using it still as a plant stand, as you can see for this plant. And in the wintertime, it comes indoors and it will go inside my house as well as a plant stand. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. Let me know what you thought. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll be back next week with a new video. Cheers.